what constitutes the office of the National Commissioner, or who constitute it, and who constitute your office? At what point does your office and that of the National Commissioner get separated as his deputy?
We are in the National Commissioner's office as the deputy.
You are in his office?
Yeah. We are his deputies. We fall under corporate. That is the office of the National Commissioner.
So you are part of his office?
Yes.
Okay. I'm happy with that answer. I'll tell you why that answer is important when I come back to it. Now, if you look at paragraph 94 of the same document, your own statement, paragraph 94 of your own statement, that paragraph there, the two divisional commissioners who reported to me, crime intelligence and detective and forensic, the dockets has to go where they needed to, where they are needed or they needed to be investigated. You see that paragraph?
Yes.
Now my question is, you are then making a point there that I think you are referring to Lieutenant General Sentumel. You are saying she is the one who, on my directive, was supposed to continue with the investigation of the dockets. And I suppose you're referring to the PKGT dockets.
Yes.
How were you expecting he or her to investigate all of those dockets alone?
No, it doesn't mean that she's supposed to investigate the dockets alone. She's a divisional commissioner. Now, all these dockets will fall under her. In other words, as a divisional commissioner, she's got different component heads. The relevant component is the one that deals with serious and violent crime, which is General Mkhwanazi. So General Sentumule, from divisional crime intelligence to divisional commissioner detective service.
Okay.
She's the one who must accept them. And from there, send them over to General Mkhwanazi to take forward.
So she's under your command?
Yes.
All right. And then in paragraph 102, you are responding to General Mkhwanazi there. You are saying this is not true. The documents were not in my office. That's about the dockets. I'm sure you remember that.
Yes.
The documents were not in my office.
Yes.
Now, let me just check. Who kept the document? And to whom does that person directly report to at SAPS?
I'm told that the dockets were in Brigadier Khopodithata's office, who report to General Mkhwanazi. General Mkhwanazi will report to General Sentumule.
And General Sentumule report
to me.
So basically the docket were in your office?
Not in my office.
No, okay, when I say the office, I understand the office not to be a building. I'm the chief whip of the ANC, I've got the deputy chief whip. When I talk about my office, it's the office where it's me, the deputy chief whip, and everybody who's in that caucus office.
In that sense, I will accept, Chair.
So the documents the dockets were kept in your office, not physically where you work, but in your office. So they were under your office.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. And then in paragraph 103, General Mkhwanazi refused to carry the directive of the National Commissioner. You said, where does that general report to?
To General Sentumule.
Now, where does, is she?
It's a she.
In your own view, given what you have told us about how police work on command and control, directive, authority, and seniority, where do you think General Mkhwanazi got the courage to refuse the directive of the National Commissioner when he said to her, allow them to take photos of the docket?
Well, I think at this present moment, maybe she is something that she can come and explain herself, but safe to say that we all believe that these dockets, because General Mkhwanazi already spoke to the nation and said the dockets are sitting here gathering dust when in fact they were not worked on, and that now they want to come. We were suspecting that in fact they want to come and add some of the things they already told the nation that some of the dockets were already at an arresting stage when they were not. So it was a question of, okay, what needs to happen here now? Can we get it in writing that says we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, so that, and this is how the discussions went with General Mkhwanazi, that no, let it be in writing so that at least we are all covered, we are all protected.
Okay, so that comes to the earlier point you made when you were responding to one of my colleagues, that you only carry out even from your boss, you can only carry out a written instruction.
Lawful instruction.
What is unlawful about the commissioner saying to somebody very junior, far below down, please allow them to come and take photos?
There was nothing unlawful, but the problem is it had the risk of, when General Mkhwanazi went out there and said, we took the dockets are in my office gathering dust, and that some of the dockets were at the stage of arresting, when in fact he made a press briefing on information that he did not have. Now later he wants to come and either, I don't know, to inspect or to do that after effect. So as far as I'm concerned, this is what she says she did.
Okay. You know why I'm asking?
No, Chief Whip,
Okay.
the question has not been answered. Did you hear the question, General?
I did.
You said that the instruction of your senior, General Masemola, was not unlawful. And the Chief Whip wants to know, and this emanates from the earlier statement that you made. And then the Chief Whip wants to know, if it was not unlawful, why was it not carried out? Because you say you hit to instructions to the extent that they are not unlawful. And then he came back and said, was the instruction unlawful? You said no. And then he followed up to say, given your commitment to execute lawful instructions, here is an instruction that you yourself say was not unlawful. Why was it not carried out?
Because, Chair, firstly, this was a situation where General Mkhwanazi is calling and saying, I'm sending 10 people there to come and inspect those dockets. And we're saying, but now you want to take the dockets that you rejected, and that after you tell the nation that we took the dockets and the dockets are gathering dust in my office and in General Sbiya's office, and some of the dockets were nearing an arrest stage with warrant of arrest already inside, and say, but now they are going to tamper with the dockets again. So let them not have access to those dockets, at least at that point in time. Then that's when the National Commissioner called General Mkhwanazi, and General Mkhwanazi said, no, General. They already made a press conference, and and the commission has now been established. Let this thing be dealt with in terms of the commission then. That is what happened, Honorable Chair.
You will understand a bit later why I'm raising this question. Because in my view, it's a bit strange that a junior person like General Mkhwanazi will respond to the National Commissioner in a way that you are saying she did. Now, we are talking about her through you because you are telling us. And in your answer, you are, okay, maybe let me ask the question before I can explain why I think you are insinuating something, and I will explain when I come to the next question. Was it completely impossible in your own view? Was it completely impossible to mitigate the possibility of tampering if they come and take the photos on the side of General Motsepe and her team?
I was already on suspension myself, on stay at home. So I had no access to that. And as far as I'm concerned, in all fairness, General Mkhwanazi made a press briefing.
General, with due respect, you have been a policeman for 37 years. I don't want to know whether you were there or not there. I'm asking. You gave us this information about General Motsepe. We're not going to ask about it. You gave us. All I'm asking, given your own experience and knowledge as our dictative in chief in this country, was it absolutely impossible for somebody in the position of General Motsepe to mitigate the possibility of tampering if these people, the 10 people who were coming in to take the photos?
I'm not sure, Chair.
You're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure what was the circumstances and the situation in terms of the people coming, 10 people to come in.
Okay. What would you say to somebody who says, no, 10 people are coming to take photos. If we have to guard against them manipulating this document, we'll put 10 others there to watch them. And somebody said, you know why that did not happen? It's because the defiance of General Motsepe was occasioned by the fact that she belongs to this other faction, which is suspicious of the National Commissioner because it's aligned to General Sbiya. What would you say to somebody who say that?
I don't think General Motsepe belongs to any faction. She was with the docket.
But the first among equals in the police tell her what to do. She doesn't do it. And she reports in the line that belongs to your division. I'm saying, then somebody sits somewhere in South Africa and say, where does this general get such a courage? Okay, let me conclude that because it's quite clear that in the evidence we're listening, there is a group, you are even giving them a provincial identification, KZN. It's a KZN group. Mkhwanazi and their group.
Team.
And then Masemula joins that group at some point because, I suppose, not because from KZN, but for factional reasons. If we were to accept that logic, if a South African citizen who's listening accept that logic, and therefore says, but here is a very junior general who refused to carry an instruction of the first among equal in the command and control of the South African Police Service. Is that person not acting because she belongs to another group, which is not only suspicious of the group of the NC, but equally protecting its own domain because it is under General Sbiya? So you think the South African who think like that will be unfortunate or unwell or something like, what's your brief comment on that?
My brief comment is that, quite honestly speaking, Chair, I don't believe that General Motsepe believes to a faction, but I'm very much concerned that something very wrong happened where there's a press conference and a statement is made, and the dockets apparently are in my office gathering dust, when those dockets were in fact taken to KZN and he rejected it. Now, in all honest fact, I'm looking at a situation where General Mkhwanazi is doing everything wrong, and it seems like all the facts are favoring General Mkhwanazi because everybody who's trying to say, but let us preserve the evidence of this one, is also wrong in doing that.